they're still there. Did you check? This video won't be relevant for very long, but I've been getting more and more people commenting on my recent videos just asking, where is King Cobra's channel? I can't find it. Where is Jessica's channel? I can't find it. They're still there. You'll get there eventually. But I realized the reason why I'm getting these comments is because at the time of recording this, let me actually just check right now, opening a fresh instance of a browser with no cookies. Cookies, KingCobraJFS. Okay, his channel comes up right here at the top, but then, yes, my video is right here, and then another video of mine, and then everyone else's videos. Separate thing here, Queen Cobra, and there's me, and then there's someone else, and then there's her channel because she's live right now. So I think that about explains why I've been getting more of those comments. But as far as explaining what's going on with that, you see this from time to time for YouTubers that are getting talked about a lot. Like, sometimes the people talking about them are getting more attention than their actual channels. For KingCobraJFS, it's a little more obvious because he is a couple days into a 2-week ban from YouTube. So he literally can't post anything. And for hers, she does post, but it's like live streams. So if she's live, that'll come up usually pretty high on the list. But she usually deletes them after, because she does horrible things in them, to me anyway. So anyway, being that I am, I guess, pretty high up on the list for when people are searching for this stuff, it would be nice for me to give a quick current rundown of events that have gotten us to this point for anyone who's just searching this stuff up and trying to get informed. Not that I've got anything like written down. I'm just gonna try to like recall it from memory, and then I'm gonna upload this and finally try to sleep. And you might think that sounds like a terrible format for trying to get people up to date on this stuff, and you're right. I don't know who made me in charge, but here we are. I'm the guy, apparently. Thanks for 40,000 subscribers, by the way. Please feel free to leave a comment saying how you tried to watch my videos, but I pause and talk way too much. I don't even remember what I was just saying, but I digress. I was very uninvolved with the time of the planting of this seed here, but I believe through the encouragement of viewers, Jessica started reaching out to Josh. He says he initially assumed she was a troll and didn't respond, which he tends to do for everyone. I'm assuming viewers of Jessica at the time egged her on to reach out to him, and Jessica, being quite the opportunist, I guess went for it. By the way, as always, check out Boglum Chronicles, Bite-Sized Cobra vids, Lennon Lime, and others for actual hard facts and the clips that are relevant and everything. So supposedly one day, Josh invited Jessica to I think a Facebook video call, and they started talking from there. Around this time and leading up to that, Jessica could be heard on live streams on her channel NakedAndLaughing, which is now banned. She'd be just saying like, I'd love to marry him. I would love to carry his children if that is something he would want. She was ride or die. She was all in. For a long time, Josh was going like, we'll take it slow. We'll see where it goes. Get to know each other. I'm not in a rush. I've been waiting 6 years to end this dry spell. Referring to him not getting it in many, many years. Talks about it nearly every day. Talks about it nearly every day about how he's not in a rush and it doesn't bother him. Every day reminding us that it doesn't bother him. And then one day, a gracious fan decided to speed things along and buy Jessica a round-trip plane ticket to go visit him. That happened, and then the live stream title that broke the internet, I remember getting that notification. Ended my dry spell, TWU. That's what's up. Where he was live streaming in his apartment in the usual spot with Jessica, having, I assume, just porked each other's brains out. I remember her saying they finally met up, hugged, I believe, and her first thought was, this goth bad boy smells pretty good. No, she said he smells good. He smells really good. That tactical soap smells good. It's got those pheromones to attract the ladies. Finally worked. All the way across the country it worked. She was like fairly composed for her on this initial trip, at least at the beginning of it. Like, it's just, you could tell things were getting weird at a certain point. And I believe at this time, Josh got a 2-week suspension thing from YouTube. Couldn't post videos or go live. I believe because of some lewd acts or imagery during a live stream, because they're just freaky like that. Or no, I'm sorry, I messed that up. I'm not going back though. She got her channel banned, I believe, for something like that around that time. That stuff's not super important for how we got to where we are now in the timeline. Again, I'm not a lore master here, but the channels that I mentioned are. I mention them frequently because I know that I'm not them. You know, he might have gotten a suspension for another Talking Tom video the first time. I don't know. People tell me wrong things, so I don't frequent the forums because they get kind of mean. I am now using Boglum Chronicles thumbnails for my timeline. Match made in heaven. Them starting to talk and getting together. Flying to Casper. Dry spell over. Them clearly having very little actual dynamic between them. You could tell Jessica definitely wanted to like move in, but he's not allowed to have other people. And also, he still wants to take it slow. Just because someone paid for her to fly over there doesn't mean that he was going to speed things along in the relationship. On this first trip over, Jessica brought off a bag of vitamins. Like clear bag of vitamins. Showed him off briefly. Said, these are my vitamins I've brought. I need to take all my vitamins. Okay, something definitely happened on the first visit that led to Josh getting some kind of strike on his channel that like was basically threatening demonetization. And I believe it was Jessica's fault. And from then on, he has very clearly made a self-policy to not live stream while Jessica's there because she's nothing but trouble. And he knows that. On Valentine's Day, Josh was passed out in the chair, pretty unresponsive for a while. And Jessica started streaming on his channel with his computer while he was passed out. It was very concerning. We all thought he might be dead. Another reason he's not going to stream with Jessica there anymore is because during this visit, the cops got called probably more times than actual days she was there. It was pretty wacky. They just kept calling the cops on him, which obviously, you know, it's not good to abuse emergency services just so you can watch some entertainment on the internet. I mean, some of them, I was like, okay, you know, maybe someone ought to check on them. So, good thing, but, you know. And she goes home, and not long after, a gracious fan decides to buy her another round trip to go visit Josh. Incredible. By the way, everyone's been telling Josh this entire time that she's no good. He's got to get rid of her. It's only going to end badly. And he keeps on doubling down, being like, oh my god, my trolls are so mean to Jessica. They're just mad because I broke my dry spell. They can't bear to see me happy. It doesn't seem like anyone's going to convince him that she's no good. He is very defiant when people try to tell him what to do in general. But the thing of it is, I think he knows that she has a lot of really horrible flaws. And he's also not that nice. But she does love him very dearly. She's shown that she's absolutely incapable of demonstrating appreciation for anyone. She needs a lot of help. A lot of help in a lot of ways. A lot of reformation. But at the end of the day, I do think that she actually, I think he is the best thing that has ever happened to her. She's ruining his life in a way, but he's the best thing that ever happened to her. And Josh hasn't had something like that in a very long time, if ever. He's had some toxic relationships. This one's also toxic, but at least she's 100. She's into it. Anyway, Jessica comes back. The second time around, it's horrible. She's having meltdown after meltdown. When she gets drunk, she gets crazy. This is where like you really ought to start checking out some of this stuff for yourself. The fights that they have, the screaming she does, the terrible things she says to viewers and to Josh. This guy Aaron keeps coming over, lends her his car. It's Josh's birthday at this time. Things really start to break down when Jessica, we think, found something on his computer, like maybe history of him talking to an online sex worker via Chatterbait chats, or maybe donating them or something. She starts manically cleaning his kitchen for days for some reason to cope. Is doing live streams from her phone constantly, talking to herself, muting the stream and talking to herself, just saying he can go have that blonde with the fishnets with the triple F chest or something. Just saying like that's fine. You guys won't see me anymore. He's got a new girlfriend. You won't see me anymore. Yeah, cleaned his kitchen for days. Did a really like I know it's like obviously it's days of work to clean that kitchen, but like I don't know, he like was like showing his kitchen off after that and it's like, damn, it's not that clean. Like I think she was just doing it to keep busy. She does his laundry. She cleans up his place. He didn't want her to do any of that stuff. She cooks for him. He didn't want her to do that. He likes things a very specific way. She doesn't understand that. Absolutely ruins everything for him. She spends like a whole goddamn day in like the laundry room of his building that has 2 washers and 2 dryers, using all of them to clean his stuff. Just no one can do laundry that day. She's just taking up all of them. And she's like sorting the stuff and folding the stuff in the laundry room for the building. That is just a room with 2 washers and 2 dryers. Like yelling and slamming things really hard and doing a live stream where she's talking to people and like she like floods the place because she like runs both of them at the exact same time and it like does something weird that probably shouldn't happen, but like that's just the way that their building is, I guess. Knocks on someone's door to like go get maintenance or something. It's all just messing everything up. They have these screaming matches about the incident of the blonde in the fishnets. She's screaming, like him and Aaron go out and she's cleaning his kitchen and just like screaming and slamming things on a live stream. Then that night, Josh gets home. She's still like live streaming and they're screaming at each other. Well, he's just trying to go to sleep in the other room and she's like laying on his couch, screaming at the top of her lungs. Which leads to Josh getting kicked out of his apartment. He's not literally kicked out of it right now, but he has to leave. He's going to be leaving at the end of the month. And it's obviously Jessica that was the final straw here. But he says it's not. And he says it's just the trolls. The trolls just finally got to the landlords after years of them tolerating all the nonsense. Right when Jessica gets there, they finally decided to kick him out because of the trolls. Anyway, there's no way to kind of briefly explain the stuff towards the end of this trip. I have videos covering it pretty well. They're having a big fight during a live stream, like in the kitchen while her phone is like is streaming from the living room. Real bad, saying real nasty things. Josh is like completely, he did nothing wrong. He got up, wanted to cook 2 of the bratwurst that they bought. They bought 4 bratwurst. He was going to cook 2 of them up for himself. She starts telling him which pan he should use. And he's like, oh, I'm going to use the one that I want to use. And she went off at that. Like gets up, goes in the kitchen like, I'm not telling you which one to use. I'm just saying that this one already has bacon grease in it. It's ready to go. You don't even have to dirty up another pan. I know you love bacon grease, so you can cook it in that. And he was like, I'm gonna cook it in I understand I'm gonna cook it in the pan that I'm choosing to cook it in. And she's see it for yourself. She's like, I don't care what pan you're using. I'm just saying. Just won't let it go. It explodes into a big thing where she keeps pretending that she's not forcing him to use a certain pan, but then will not drop it, that he's going to use a different pan. At a certain point, she ends that stream, and then they continue fighting. And we know this because a fan called Josh's phone, and I believe Jessica grabbed the phone. And then at this point, the bozos on the other end started recording it, and she's holding the phone with these guys on the other end that called Josh, and they continue to have a massive fight, Josh and Jessica. The phone calls the recording's 12 something minutes, I think. I don't know. I have it on my channel, kind of breakdown of that whole call. It's very difficult to hear things, so I did my absolute best to fix the audio any way I could. And I made a transcript and everything, and then I also review it. I go through it and check everything out for myself. She says she threatens to go buy an $8 machete. It's something like, are you trying to hurt me? I will go buy an $8 machete right now. It's really weird. Just gaslighting the entire time, as if she's being attacked. Really toxic stuff. They really need to separate. And then at that point, we're really getting into events of the past 2 weeks. She goes home, starts being absolutely awful on her live streams at home, saying some horrific things about the viewers and everything and all other people. And at this point, I don't see much of a point in reciting things that I've been bringing up in the past few days. And this whole recap I was doing here took way longer than I thought. And I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff, but I am quite sleep deprived at this point. It's kind of bad, which is why I'm going to finish this. And I'm going to go lay in bed. It's 3:09 p.m. on Sunday, and I'm over it. I guess we could do my usual check-in to see what the hell's going on her live stream right now. Sitting on the toilet after, I could only assume, soaking in a bath. Yup, for hours and hours. Soaking in the tub for hours and hours, and sitting on the toilet is all she ever seems to do at home. So, Josh is getting kicked out of his apartment. He found a new place. He's not giving any details about it, except he also is, even though he's not. He said he's moving at the end of this month, even though he said it's going to be the next 2 to 3 months, and he doesn't want to get specific about it. I believe he also confirmed that the place is kind of on the outskirts of town, like his current place. He said in the Courtney live stream, which I didn't touch on here because it was so recent, you could just watch those quick videos that people have on it. I have videos on it. By the way, stuff that I got wrong, just feel free to leave a comment about it. If you have questions about things, leave a comment about it. I might remember it, or someone else can help out with details. So he said in the Courtney live stream, she was like, are you renting or buying? And he said a purchase was made, but I don't know if he understood the question. So there's that. But in a Queen Cobra live stream, Jessica's live stream, someone cheekily asked, are you moving into Josh's trailer? And she was like, I'm not moving into his trailer. There was never any confirmation of a trailer up to this point. Got him. I mean, she probably doesn't care that he was she doesn't care that Josh didn't want to give out info, I'm sure. So maybe he's moving into a trailer at the end of the month. Who knows? But yep, and he got a 2-week suspension from YouTube that he's on right now because of a Talking Tom video where he was talking smack about the trolls. And I think it got flagged for being sexually explicit for what he told the trolls to do. I don't know why I even bother with this whole recap. You could just kind of scroll through and see the things for yourself on my channel, Boglin Chronicles channel. There's plenty of people covering it. You probably already knew all this, viewer. So yes, their channels are still there. You can find them. You'll find them. I'm sorry I'm the first thing to come up. If I'm the first thing that came up when you searched and now you're here, I'm sorry. I don't know who put me in charge. But yes, in conclusion, my and other people's videos are coming up ahead of the people's actual channels because It's the best way to consume the media. It's the best way to get the information. It's the best way to get entertained by it. It's just the way this kind of stuff rolls. It's very difficult to follow if you actually get it directly from the sources. So here we are. I try my best to provide coverage on all this recent stuff. I'm sorry I got into it a little late, but I'm doing my best now. Get out of here. Go run along. Go get where you were trying to get, or feel free to go look back at my coverage of it, because it's probably a little easier to get through. And then you too can tell me how impossible it is to watch me when I pause and talk so many times. And by the way, this merch stuff is a reference to the Monster Energy poster that Josh has on his wall in his living room. Amazing, I know. Hilarious. All right, bye.
I hear the call from the abyss.